In this exercise tutorial, I'm going to be taking you through an abdominal crunch with feet elevated on a platform. So I'm using here a plyometric box. You certainly don't need one of these. Anything that you can use that's going to replicate this would work just fine. So the whole point of this exercise would be somebody that's new to core exercises. I'm trying to progress them to being able to have their feet off of a box like this, but we're working up to that stage. So they're trying to do abdominal crunches. They're trying to progress to a stage where I can get their feet off of something like this platform. But for now, we're trying not to aggravate things like hip flexors and lower back. So I'm going to show you two versions of this, one of which is a progression and one of which is the exercise. So firstly, I'm going to bring myself nice and close to the box. I'm going to have my heels on the box and I want my knees to be vaguely at 90, knees above hips. So what I've got here is I've got a position where my lower back, mid back and upper back are all on the mat. I'm going to bring my hands completely behind my head and I want the whole weight of my head to be in my hands. So when you're coming up, you're going to keep your eye line looking towards the ceiling or sky. You're going to crunch up as high as you can, but keep your eye line looking up. So what I don't want you to do is do this. Whilst that is spinal flexion, we might also find that we're getting the neck flexors aggravated during that. So elbows outside of your field of vision, make sure that the core is completely braced, lower back's in contact with the mat, eye line's always looking up. You're going to come up as high as you can, shoulders off the floor, big squeeze at the top, and slowly back down. So big squeeze at the top, elbows out of your field of vision, eyes looking all the time up, and repeat for your desired amount of repetitions. Let's say, for example, I then want to get somebody out of this, so I want to get them off the box. What I might do, as opposed to just remove the box, is get the feet just slightly off the box, get them to do their repetitions, and let's say, for example, their lower back or their hip flexors start to hurt too much. As opposed to stop the exercise, let's say they've done a repetition, now their lower back's coming off the floor, I can get them to just pop their feet back on the box and continue the repetitions from there. So it's a nice way to be able to continue the exercise without having to stop or without having to just remove the box entirely. You could do a proportion of the exercise off the box with your heels just hovering off the box, and then you can bring them back on if you need to when you do the exercise. That's how to do a feet elevated crunch.